Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we are talking about how AMC short positions can't hold forever, Citadel being caught by the CAT system, how shorts are afraid, and many more in this video. First, we're going to look at this. AMC Theaters welcomes more than 8.8 million moviegoers worldwide Wednesday through Sunday. In the US, AMC sets Thanksgiving holiday period records for attendance, admissions revenue, food and beverage revenue, and total revenue. So this is relating to why we talked about AMC short positions can't hold forever. So we already covered this piece of news in terms of understanding how AMC is obviously breaking records. Now, this is very important because the reason why I say this is because shorts only have two ways out. One, for AMC to go bankrupt, or two, for every single retail investor to sell their shares. Now, obviously, we know that the latter is near impossible, is 99.99%, and the only thing that is, again, in relative, that is in comparison, that it's more possible, is obviously for AMC to be bankrupted. But when you see how AMC is breaking records, we know that AMC is making more revenue, making more money, therefore they have less chances of bankruptcy. And that's what we talked about with how short positions can't hold forever. Because you can see this, they thought they could hold on to the AMC and GME short positions longer than the people can hold their long positions. Surprise, the people will hold their shares forever, never selling, never leaving. And so there has been people who's bought AMC since 2021 and is still holding on their shares even now going into 2025. And the reason for this is very simple. We all understand what the thesis is. That isn't costing us any money to hold on to our AMC positions, whereas in contrast, what it is that the shorts are actually spending money every single day, whether it's to finance their short positions, whether it's to create new short positions. You know, these are all costing them money, but the only cost there is for the retail investors is of course the original money they use to buy AMC. After that, it doesn't cost us a single dime. And again, something that we talked about in the future as well, in terms of what is a possibility, is obviously with the issuance of dividends. And so at that point, not only will it cost us no money to hold on to our positions, but it will actually gain us money to hold on to these positions because of dividends. And again, we talked about the effect of having dividends, how it's making the shorts pay for that as well. And so these are exactly everything we've covered in terms of understanding how shorts can't hold forever, but the retail investors can. And you can also see this, they are so scared of AMC going over $5, and it shows. Entire movie industry is going bananas after the success of this weekend, and somehow the largest movie exhibitor with the largest market share isn't seeing that reflected in the stock, TikTok. And this is reflecting to what we talked about at the very start. Like I said, again, understanding that AMC is breaking records. Remember, AMC is the biggest company within this industry. They benefit the most from this, but the reason why you don't see it reflecting in the price is because what it does is that it doesn't benefit the institutions, it benefits the retail, and therefore it's being suppressed. If the AMC institutional ownership was actually the majority, so if it was actually 90% owned by institutions, we're definitely going to be seeing AMC making new all-time highs, or at least we're going to see it being bigger than Cinemark, than IMAX. These stocks are making a 52-week all-time high, whereas AMC is not. And it's very clear and simple to see obviously why this is happening. And so this is what we talked about. Short sellers and naked short sellers of AMC are completely screwed. The company is better than it has ever been in history, while the stock price is kept at all-time low by market makers. People are loading up, buying the stock, and never selling it. 2025 will be the worst year short sellers have ever experienced throughout all time. So I do agree with this, because going into 2025, what we have to understand is this. We are seeing the recovery of box office. In fact, what we are seeing is how box office is actually beating, before COVID even happened. And so we are experiencing a time where AMC has a lot of potential to be profiting off from this. Remember, it's not just the box office going up when we make money from ticket sales. We've also seen like this in terms of food and beverage revenue and other things as well. And so these are all things that we talked about. We've seen how merchandise has done well, especially with the Taylor Swift film. We know that AMC is going to film distribution. We know that AMC has other various forms of investments. So these are all things that are allowing AMC to obviously improve. And you can even see here, Friday, November 29th was AMC's highest total revenue, and this was the second highest total revenue day in AMC history. So this is a 104-year history that we're talking about. So we know that AMC is improving. We know that AMC will continuously to do better, because if the box office was dying AMC wouldn't be making history records like they are right now. They wouldn't be beating what they've done in the past. The very fact they are doing this is showcasing how we are in a thriving industry. Now, let's see this. I believe the company has done everything it needed to secure its future, and any short thesis is completely out the window with this Thanksgiving box office record breaking numbers. To add to this, Interstellar, which is out in streaming, is selling out all seats. So, like we said, we are only going to be seeing the box office get bigger and bigger. And we've seen with the EBITDA of AMC, we've seen with the business structure of AMC, we've seen with the management structure, we understand how AMC will profit from this. We understand how AMC will be able to use this to benefit for their own. Now, what we have to understand is that two things are completely separate. AMC benefiting from the industry and AMC stock price. Under normal circumstances, when a company is doing well and is benefiting from the industry, you're obviously going to see it reflect in the stock price. And that's how you understand if a company is doing well within the industry. For AMC, it's very, very different, because this isn't even me making it up. Anyone can obviously take a look at this. When you compare how AMC is doing fundamentally, you can see that they're improving. When you're comparing with its competitors, so Cinema, IMAX, or any others, you can see that they are all making new highs because of the industry. But when it comes to AMC, you have to understand it's two separate things. Just because it's not reflected in the stock market price, just because AMC is not making a 52-week new high, it doesn't mean it's doing bad. It's two separate things, and that's what we have to understand. A big reason for this is because they're running from the 566, because it lowers debt. But they're also now fighting FOMO because of the record-setting box office. If they go up, they risk debt reduction. If they stay here, they sell tons of shares cheap into a potentially disastrous FOMO market. So let me explain further in terms of what this is. Now, we know at 566 there is the debt conversion, where shares obviously get converted and is paying off debt. Now, anyone who understands simple economics knows, and especially with the only negative fact there is to argue about AMC right now is obviously because of its debt issues. So short sellers are facing a very difficult situation. They understand that if they allow AMC to even run to 566, and again, we know it will run higher, but in this case, we're talking about 566, is that they will face AMC lowering debt. And the higher AMC goes, obviously, the more money AMC is able to get out of this, and therefore more debt reductions. With more debt reductions, what we can see, AMC having a healthier balance sheet because debt is reduced. AMC will do well with their liquidity because there is less interest payments, and therefore more investments that it could be made, wherever it's in other various industries, wherever it's in terms of new revenue streams, wherever, like we've seen with the $100 million in Coke machines. These are all potential freed up money that could be used, and that's what they worry about, even if AMC were to go up slightly. But the other reason in terms of why they're scared of it staying at this area is because they understand that right now the float is being bought up. Realistically, it should be extremely hard to buy shares of AMC, because we've seen from the OBV that the retail have bought up the float and they are not selling. So the shares that we are getting in the market right now are very likely to be synthetic shares. And so they are selling these synthetic shares for extremely cheap prices because the price is not going up. And that's a big problem, because when they have to pay it back and have to buy these synthetic shares back, not only have they just created, billions at such a cheap price for everyone to buy up, they then have to buy back the billions of synthetic shares they created at $1,000, at $5,000, at $10,000. And that's why they are afraid. They're afraid of the price going up, but they're also afraid of the price staying at where it is now or even going lower, because they understand that AMC, even if they are not able to raise money because the price is low, AMC is still doing well fundamentally. And that's what we talked about. The fundamentals of AMC is extremely important. Now you can see here, FINRA charges Citadel Securities for failing to report tens of billions of equity and option audit events to the Consolidated Audit Trail, the CAT system. Now, we've already talked about how the CAT system will be powerful, and I feel like we've already seen this case. This isn't the first time where we've seen how something's got to do with Citadel and the CAT system. We've seen that thing fine already, we've seen they're not reporting, and this is something that we've already expected from the start. What the CAT system does is that it is supposed to bring transparency into the market. It's supposed to prevent shorts from obviously creating synthetics. Now, something that we always have to admit is that it hasn't completely 100% removed that. But what we are seeing is how short firms are obviously facing problems. In this case, we're seeing Citadel, we've seen it in the past with others as well. And now we're understanding in terms of the limits there are now, how it's struggling for the short sellers. And you can also see here, according to public available information, Citadel is considered to be short on MicroStrategy. And we talked about how MicroStrategy is obviously going up, especially with Bitcoin now hitting a new all-time high, passing the 100K, hitting 103K. You know, we know the situation they are in. So there is many reasons for us to believe that short sellers like Citadel are in an extremely bad position, and that's why they're going to be struggling, and that's why they'll be paying for the squeeze. And you guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.